This is a Dragon Blazer production, and I am the little boogeyman.
All right. Coming down the aisle, your podcast tag team champions of the world, Boomer and Blaze.
Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting edition of the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And here we are. Merry Christmas. We are in December. I know it's not Christmas. Don't look at me like that. No one can see your face.
Humbug.
Happy holidays. Is that better? Don't make me let Mariah out of the box on your
Bah humbug all around.
Wow, this guy's in a great mood this week.
Fuck,
I see.
fuck Christmas, fuck Kwanzaa, fuck
Wow.
Hanukkah.
Even Hanukkah? Dreidel, 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 made you out of clay. How can you hate Hanukkah?
Bah humbug.
Put on your yarmulke.
I don't have a yarmulke.
Me
I'm not
neither.
Jewish.
Me neither, but still it's Christmas time. He's being a Scrooge. That's fine. We'll let him do that. So much to talk about in the month of December when it comes to Christmas with movies and presents. And man, there's just so much good stuff to talk about. Unless you're Blazing, you're a big Scrooge.
Bah humbug.
Is what he says. So I gotta ask, let's see, we're gonna start with this now. Not necessarily your favorite Christmas movie, but do you have a go-to that you watch first thing every year? Like, do you have is it Scrooge? Is that
I want to bring up two, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
My favorite Christmas movie is Gremlins.
Fair.
All day, every day. All day, every day. I have a lot of Gremlins stuff.
He does.
Gizmo.
He's got some cool.
I love Gremlins.
stuff.
It is a Christmas movie. I don't care what you say, Stephanie.
We're throwing shots out too.
Calling out a friend of mine who argues with me every Christmas that Gremlins is not a Christmas movie.
Well, you know, I used to be an arguer. We've had this discussion. I used to argue, but
hey.
It is.
Gizmo was a Christmas gift, a.k.a. Christmas movie.
Correct.
Santa dies in the movie. Gosh darn it, it's a Christmas movie.
I can't.
It was
argue
someone
that.
dressed like a Santa, but
That's
you know,
true.
it all takes place during Christmas.
Right.
It's a Christmas movie.
Just like Die Hard,
It's
folks.
my favorite Christmas movie.
Just like
exactly.
Die Hard. I thought about Die Hard for years.
Just like Die Hard. Just like Die Hard.
But then I'm like, I'll embrace it because you know what else Batman Returns is, too.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that,
But I talked to my daughter this weekend. Well, maybe last weekend. And I was telling her about how I love the Grinch. How the Grinch stole Christmas. The Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yes.
We don't talk about the new Grinch. Fuck that Grinch.
We don't talk about
He's way too nice.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. No, I don't want my Grinch to be nice.
We're about to get a very not nice Grinch.
Yeah,
And
no,
the new
mean
movie
one,
coming
yeah,
out, but-
absolutely. But
the
you
mean
know
one.
what? The way too nice. In fact, I'll go and say that I like 3/4 of every Grinch movie, except for that one.
Right.
Except for that one.
But I'll even go as far as saying that I don't understand the hate that Jim Carrey one got.
Jim
because
Carrey one's fantastic.
that-
I don't care what anybody
The
says.
Grinch was amazing.
He was fantastic.
Cat in the Hat. Sorry, Mike Myers. But the Grinch live action movie, like Jim Carrey was perfect for that.
He was
role.
great. I love that version.
Yeah, it's
I love
amazing.
the original and I love that one. My only problem with both movies is he grows a heart at the end of the movie. He works super fucking hard to steal all those presents. He worked hard, man.
Well, it has to
he
end
worked
it.
very hard.
It has
and
to
then
end
he's
happy.
like, oh, let me give them back? Fuck that! Be who you are. Be the Grinch. It's the only bad part
Just
about
fuck
those
that.
Grinch movies.
Fuck those kids.
That. Yeah,
fuck
fuck
that
them
village.
kids. Fuck them kids. They need to know what life's like without... Go wahoo my ass.
Wow. Where's the assistant? I need to get him down here. I don't know why, but he needs to come and calm down Blaze over here. before he
Fuck.
loses it.
And elimination, the damn Benedict Cumberbatch. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't even try to watch that one.
I did watch it. I have kids, so I watched it.
Right.
We watched it together, and he's too fucking nice. He's barely a nuisance. He's mildly annoyed.
You
That
can't
is
have a
not my
mildly
Grinch.
annoying Grinch. That's not. See, I heard bad stuff about it.
When the
Maybe
Grinch
not-
comes to town, I want to be concerned about my safety.
Yes.
I didn't feel concerned at all with Benedict Cumberbatch's
Or feel
Grinch.
like you weren't worried about the kids or nothing. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah, he was like a grumpy old man.
Now that one was animated, right? It was animated.
Yeah, it was.
Just
It was like.
Benedict was the voice.
Yeah, it was Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice.
I remember it coming out, but I was like,
I remember it quite a bit because I was working at IHOP. We were doing a Grinch promotion. We sold Grinch, and I wanted to like it because I love the Grinch.
right, because it's the Grinch.
It's the Grinch.
And there's nothing wrong with loving the Grinch, by the way. I mean,
Absolutely.
come on. Grinch is amazing.
He's my spirit animal.
Usually, it's not my favorite one, but usually the first one I always end up seeing is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Is
a good one.
usually,
It's a good one.
which I've already watched a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but my go-to though,
For me, if I watch a Christmas movie, it's Gremlins. That's the one I watch.
See, mine's Home Alone.
And Nightmare Before Christmas.
Home
Sometimes-
Alone is my.
Home
Actually,
Alone's great.
two
I like Home Alone.
two's probably my favorite, but I just always say the Home Alone.
I like
is
Home
my,
Alone. Yeah.
not the ones without Macaulay.
We don't talk about
We don't
those.
talk about those. But yeah, Home Alone 2, come on, Tim Curry and Home Alone is one of the greatest things
I
ever.
know.
Like Lost in New York.
My
When I was young, Home Alone, the original was my favorite, but the older I've gotten, like 2 is a lot better.
2 is so good.
2 is so amazing.
I
The
love Tim
cast-
Curry too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, what kind of idiots do you have running this place? The finest in New York,
Finest
ma'am.
in New York.
That was my introduction
Oh, yeah.
to Tim Curry as a kid.
Okay, that
Like,
makes sense. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, obviously I didn't watch Rocky Horror when I was
Right.
younger.
I
but,
actually, I don't know if I put 2 because I actually remember seeing it. But obviously when I saw it, I was way too young to be watching it, and I didn't know it was Tim Curry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Later on, I figured out, that's who that was.
I don't even think I watched it I may have watched it young, but it wasn't like, I
not-
saw Home Alone 2 before I saw it. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, I was a weird
But
kid.
I always remembered that Bell or whatever manager or
Yeah,
whatever.
He was the manager, I guess, bellhop.
The concierge or something
yeah,
like
because there
that.
was a separate bellhop because he was always tipping him Lucky Strike.
Yeah.
And that was Rob Schneider. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's in that movie.
I haven't watched the second one in forever. I've watched the first one. I watch the first one quite often,
Yeah.
here and there. If I see it on TV, I sometimes watch it, and then the kids like it, so it's a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the sequel in forever.
Oh man, you need to go back and watch that one. 'Cause
I
It
do.
actually
I
is
do.
better. As much as I love the original, Lost in New York is a whole nother level. The Talk Boy, which I never had one of those. I remember making.
I remember
Talk Boys,
wanting
but
one
Yeah.
so bad.
And now, if you want one, the bigger you get, the more expensive the toys are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, now,
if you want a real one, like they're probably re-releasing them. I'm sure they did.
I mean,
but-
those Talk Boys. Do we need them? We have Talk Boys on our phone now.
do we need it? No, but it's the Talk Boy from Home Alone.
I know, but I'm just saying that
You just never seen my nerd cave. I don't need anything I have in my room.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that we're literally
Do we need
doing
it now?
a podcast
I wouldn't even.
with
I wouldn't
proper
even
mics
use it.
and everything.
I wouldn't even use it. It would be in my cabinet. Like, look, I have a Talk Boy from Home Alone because I'm one of those.
You'd probably use that shit, and it'd probably be much less quality than the
Probably.
phones.
He's like, we're doing a podcast, and you're like, I want
we're
a Talk
doing-
Boy.
I want a Talk
You
Boy.
don't
We
need-
have like.
Would you like me to change your voice right now?
Professional mic.
Can we do that? Like next week, I'm doing the whole episode as the guy for the Scream Killer. I'm going to do it all as Ghostface. I'm going to change my voice. Do that eventually. So yeah,
Voice changers, yeah.
I've gotten lucky lately at work. I just try to avoid. If you don't play the pop rock channels like Mix 106, you don't got to hear Mariah. So I've avoided that lately. I just thought I'd share that with you. So I'm
I've
not
avoided
breaking
it by not listening to music. I listen to
Well,
my podcast.
right. We listen to music at work, and all we have is an old, CD player or whatever. So we listen to the radio. So
I think-
I'm hearing a lot of Christmas music, but I'd rather hear like Tom Petty sing a Christmas song
Yeah,
than hear
right.
All I Want for Christmas Is You. So I just wanted to let you know
Right,
I'm
right.
safe from Mariah. I am marked safe
I
from Mariah.
I think Mariah
I am,
attacked me.
What?
I have been attacked, I believe, by Mariah and or Celine Dion.
Both of them are attacking you. Because is this
I'm not
karma
sure.
from?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I got on my Facebook reels. I got a attack, or it said that I'm no longer getting anything from it because of. They said that I had unoriginal content. Now I know for a fact I didn't have unoriginal content because all my TikToks or my Facebook reels are us talking.
Yeah.
But I did put in the background Mariah Carey and Celine Dion songs while we talked over it.
Right.
Now, in my argument, that's still original content.
Exactly.
It was just in the background while we were talking specifically
about
those songs.
Right.
It's the only thing I can think of that they would have cited me for.
Mariah thing.
So I think Mariah just attacked my ass.
You know what, Mariah? Fuck you too.
Now, damn you. I would. But
if you keep this shit up, you're going to be right up there with Jim Cornette and Jeff fucking Jarrett. That's all I have to say. Original. Listen. There are loopholes to this, you know, and somebody was an asshole. That's all.
I'm trying to.
If you go back and listen to all our episodes, like we play music at the end of our episodes, and don't get in trouble.
Yeah, but that's different. It's different. Facebook Reels is different.
I know, Facebook just sucks dicks.
Anchor does not seem to give a shit.
Anchor gives no shit's what we do.
Anchor
haven't heard about Anchor?
The only way Anchor starts caring is if we actually have actual like sponsors other than Anchor.
Yeah.
Then I might have to start worrying about it.
Well, yeah.
YouTube, however, sometimes does
until we sponsor, until DDPY Yoga is our sponsor, we can say whatever the fuck we want and do what we want. Then we don't have to watch.
I haven't done a lot yet.
Yeah. But
our video podcast are now subscriber listener you pay for now. It's paid content on Spotify.
Nice. So there you go.
But I haven't started adding all the videos yet.
Great. By the way, Mariah, though, like that clip from that episode of us talking about All I Want for Christmas You is my most watched TikTok. Oh, yeah. So, that was your video. I just shared it on my TikTok, but it's at 450 views.
I don't even think mine has that.
Right. So
what the hell?
So that was.
How come you get more?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Well, how do we get all these TikTokers to listen? That's what I want to do. Like, I love the love on TikTok, but why don't you check the show out? You know,
you're right.
I'm just saying, like.
Understood.
I'm very popular on the TikToks. So.
I only have 191 views on TikTok.
So, there you go. Mariah brought me a little fame there. So here's a good one for you. We could I'll save this other one for a little later. I was going to bring up, but here's this one for you. Eggnog. Yes or no? Are you an eggnog fan?
Absolutely.
Me too. But with or without the do you like the adult eggnog or just eggnog?
I like it all.
Do you?
But adult is great. You get some spiced rum in there. For us poor people, Lady Bly.
Is that right? Maybe if I tried to make the adult eggnog myself, I would like it. But every time I've bought it, because you can buy it like
oh really?
I haven't liked it. I mean, I love eggnog.
Oh, you gotta make it.
But every time I bought like the
every
time I bought like the pre-mixed, I'm like, this isn't. I just want the normal eggnog.
You gotta make it with Captain Morgan or Lady Bly.
See, coming on all sorts of stuff on our show.
Spice rum. In fact, I'm not huge on Captain Morgan. Like, I don't want to drink Captain Morgan straight. It tastes
just
weird.
Sit around and take shots of it.
No, you don't take shots of it.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that Captain Morgan is perfect mixed with. Eggnog. Spiced apple cider.
Makes sense.
And Sprite. I don't even like Captain and Coke.
Right.
I was never... Sprite?
Listen. I'm no expert. Can I give y'all some advice, though? Don't drink whiskey with any syrupy carbonated... Don't do Black Velvet and Pepsi or Captain Morgan and Coke. You're going to throw up. Oh, that's all you're doing. You are just literally mixing up puke in your stomach.
You mix Captain Morgan with Sprite, it tastes like a cream soda.
Now, see, the Sprite
delicious.
With some liquor isn't as bad because it doesn't have all that heavy syrup. Like...
Fair enough.
My stepdad always wondered why you felt like shit back in the day, and I'm like, because you drink Pepsi and Black Velvet. Like, don't mix it. Just drink Velvet, chase it with some water. Smile. Like, ugh. You sound just like her.
Absolutely.
Whoever sings it.
Absolutely.
You always sound just like her. He's an amazing artiste.
Absolutely.
In case you did not.
Yes.
And that's French, by the way. Just like fragile.
Yeah, We're classy on this.
That's right. This is a class. Where's our champagne?
This is classy.
This is classy. You should see the studio. By the way, we got a Christmas tree. I didn't even bring that up. I just noticed. Christmas tree's up. We're feeling festive up in this mode.
I pretend to be festive. My kids like it.
Well, yeah, I haven't got the tree up yet, but there were a few issues of figuring out where to put it.
I mean, I didn't. I don't think I had a choice. My
No, you don't
kids
have a
did
choice.
all that.
Well, good. So you didn't have
My
to worry
kids
about
are
it.
like, this tree is going up.
It's going up,
Specifically, my daughter.
whether you
She's
like it or
this
not.
tree is going up.
Hey, it is Christmas time, so I agree. Speaking of that, you see, like, we got to sort of GoFundMe because you saw the Christmas Story house is for sale, right?
No,
it is.
I did not.
Yes. So we need to GoFundMe it because here's the thing: it's a lot of people I don't think realize it's a business. You can go; it's a museum. You can go take tours. They also do B&B sometimes where you can spend the night there and all this. So it's not
Breaking
just
and entering.
So it's breaking. Sometimes you can bed and breakfast there is what I'm saying. B&B, not B&E. Savio's not even on the TV yet. You're already talking about stealing.
Oh no! Come on now.
So it's a business. So you have a parking lot and 2 more buildings on the property. Like when they asked the woman, "Why are you selling now?" She said, "You do know there's a new one out, right? Like Christmas. There's a new Christmas Story out with Ralphie in it. So of course we're selling now. Why not?
Right.
It doesn't even list a price, so you can only imagine what that's going to
hey.
be going for. So, but I just thought I'd bring that up. It's right here in good old Cleveland. Who wants to own a Christmas Story house? We could start recording from there.
We just moved.
My mic's going next to the leg lamp. I'm calling it now. That's where I want to.
You know what? This is not the week to bringing up Cleveland. Fuck Cleveland.
Why do we care about Cleveland for? Because they pulled off that stupid win?
Well, we play them this week.
Oh, that's why we care.
It's Bengals Browns. It's Battle of Ohio this week.
It is, and the worst part about that is you never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
Just like when they beat us the first time.
As good as the Bengals are right now, Cleveland, I don't know. They match up well with us. It's just like us and the Chiefs.
Yeah, you just never know.
We
what's
match
gonna
well
happen.
against the Chiefs.
By the way, is there anything more Cleveland than Deshaun making his return against the Texans and then winning without offense scoring any points? Is there anything more Browns than that?
Well, he's trying to stop forcing himself into things anymore.
Well, he needs to, but you know what he needs? He needs hush money.
He needs hush.
Hush money is definitely right for you,
That's
Deshaun.
right.
You should have used
That's
it
right.
at the time.
If
Like,
Deshaun
what were you
would have used
thinking?
hush money, maybe none of this would have happened.
Exactly.
But,
Well, then he would have never got his guaranteed money. So he's
well, actually, he used something similar to hush money.
he did.
I believe he paid off a bunch of women. Just it
Here's
was
the thing.
after they made statements.
And it wasn't all him though, but yeah, Houston helped him out and made some phone calls.
He used settlement money.
It's just every time they talked about it on TV, you're just like, I hear football players going, "Yeah, I got a lot of massages, but it was usually the same person, not like 75 different ones giving me massages." Poor Deshaun, but yeah, fuck the Browns for sure.
Poor Deshaun.
Poor Deshaun, should have had some of that Cosby Jello around.
Oh no! Let's not make this worse than it
What?
already
There's always
is.
room for Jello. Let us make it worse. I didn't do anything.
Pudding pops.
You do know that, he's out now, but you do know that when Cosby went to jail, you know what dessert was the first night, right? Literally, he had Jello on his first meal.
Oh, of course he did.
Hot dogs and Jello.
Hot dogs.
How was poetic's that? Welcome to prison, Bill.
So
What's that have to do with the
right
Christmas?
after all that came out,
Yeah.
unfortunately, my family doesn't understand my dark humor sometimes, but some of them did. Some of them really appreciate my dark humor.
Right.
But we do a called Robbers Bingo, where everybody brings a gift,
I guess of some guy, yeah.
and then we play a game to win the gifts. Okay, we rob, we steal each other's gifts. My Robbers Bingo gift was some drugs.
And some Jello?
it wasn't any
Right, real ones, right.
It wasn't real ones, but
He wouldn't waste them like that.
drugs.
No, and
Yes,
and Jello.
Jello in the first season of the Cosby Show.
But not only is it funny,
My family did not find it super.
but that was a
funny.
great TV show. So they didn't find the humor in that.
No, I think
it's hilarious.
I own it.
He's like,
I now own the Cosby Show,
and I got it back. Nobody even wanted the Cosby
nobody wanted
Show.
it, so it never left my side.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
watch that horrible show now.
Yeah, no, I haven't bothered watching it. I'm good on all that.
Is it hard to go back and watch him being the perfect dad now? Is that what it is? Like,
Really is kind of.
Theo, let me show you what you should have done.
Every time he has a scene with a woman, you're like, "Don't drink that, Cosby telling me no. Don't give her that. Not cool.
Don't go to his trailer.
It's okay. I got my sweaters.
Oh, that show's run for the rest of my life.
I know.
Speaking of shows, this has nothing to do with Christmas, but this just popped in my head because we're talking about TV. We lost Christy Alley this week.
I saw
yesterday.
that. Yeah, I saw
to
that.
a private battle with cancer. My biggest memory of her is Cheers. 3 Men and a Baby, too, but Cheers is definitely my...
I barely watched Cheers, so for me it was 3 Men and a Baby.
I watched so much Cheers.
I watched a lot of 3 Men and a... I used to love that movie.
Right?
I think. I haven't watched it probably since I was a kid.
Yeah,
but
you might be disappointed like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
it's probably terrible.
It's probably terrible. You
All
go
right.
back real far, you know it can be so.
No. Let me get this straight.
We were,
I didn't hate
you
Planes,
didn't.
Trains.
You were
I liked it.
disappointed.
I
It wasn't
liked
as
it.
funny as you remember.
It just wasn't as great. Like I had this in my head that this movie is fantastic. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, it's still probably the best Thanksgiving movie we have. But
Oh, definitely.
there's not a lot.
There's not a lot to choose
not
from.
a lot to choose from.
We were
here.
talking about this off air because I watched an episode of his other podcast, coming soon to a podcast near you. You should check it out. And they reviewed Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So.
And yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I seem to remember it being funnier than it was.
Right.
Although Steve Martin going on that fuck tirade in a movie where there was barely any cussing at all,
Yeah.
and he just starts wailing on that woman.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "We don't fucking have anything."
Steve Martin is great.
Oh, I love
That's why
Steve
we brought
Martin.
that up.
I like
there.
Steve Martin. I like John Candy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love both of them, and it was a good movie. It just wasn't quite as funny as I remembered it.
Which happens sometimes.
I thought it was funnier than it was. I had it up on a pedestal, is what it was.
Yeah.
And when
It was
I
up on
watched
that
it, it was
Holy
just
Grail
a
level,
good,
and then-
funny movie, but it wasn't like.
What you remember it being.
It's not as funny as I remembered.
It happens. You know. But that's why I brought that up. That is also one of his podcasts you should check out sometime if you're into the movies and stuff. Xavier actually has some good insights when you guys do these too. Like I'm kind of impressed with some of this. Because not everybody, I tell people all the time, like, do you watch movies or do you actually watch them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Xavier seems to catch things that not everybody does. Because some people just watch a movie and it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He sees the characters and what they're kind of...
And he's starting
Yeah,
to think more critically too.
He is too. Yeah, he's
'Cause
getting
when he started, he just liked everything.
Right.
And
He's
now
like, yeah, it
he's
was good.
he's
Yeah, it
being
was
a
good.
little bit more harsh with his ratings and stuff.
Yeah, well,
like-
you know, you grow as you go. Right?
and he blames me for that, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. No, it's good that
Maybe.
he's...
Unless you just want to be happy, then I guess I'm not. So,
Who
sorry.
wants to be happy,
Sorry,
though?
son.
Like, fuck that shit. You get to be happy once a year, and that's it. And it's now. And we're running it for you. All right. So, anything else about Christmas? Or should we actually talk about wrestling?
We talked way more about Christmas than I wanted to.
And some non-Christmas, too, because we
Yeah.
do what we want. Don't forget, this week's episode is brought to you by Hush Money. Deshaun needed some Hush Money.
Well, I do want to bring up one thing. It's not
Okay,
Christmas.
go ahead. Before we
We
do
are hopefully going to have a special guest
Ah, yes. a
on
little
our next
teaser.
episode.
Yes. And that's all you're getting, though.
That's all we're giving you right now, but we
I
may
guess
have
we
a
could tell you
special
that
guest.
the next episode's WrestleMania 12 after this.
Yes.
And we may have a special guest for that WrestleMania. I'm glad you brought that
As
up.
long as everything goes well,
As planned, stuff happens.
I've talked to the person. That person is very excited
Yes.
to talk about it,
Yes.
what he wants to talk about, or she,
He or she.
he or she.
It's not Diamond Dallas Page. There's a hint.
Diamond
It's
Dallas.
not DDP.
Not DDP.
But, yes, we
we're
could have a
trying.
very
We're
special
working on.
guest.
We're working on DDP.
That's actually a very special guest I'm also very excited about. So I hope this pans out.
I'm
'cause this is-
ridiculously
This is
excited.
going to be really cool. So
if we can
you got to
get him
stay
on.
tuned for that.
We also have another possible special guest.
We got a couple things in the works.
We had some.
The second one came from the new feature on Facebook, and most of you, well, a few people chimed in, but you can group chat now, actually with the Boomer and Blaze page. It's not just your normal messenger.
My
You
only
can do group
complaint
chats
is
now,
why
so-
can't I change my name? Like I want to change our nicknames to Boomer
Right,
and
yeah,
Blaze.
that I haven't
Like,
quite
that
figured out yet.
because somebody was like, "Are you
Who are
the
you?
other
Yeah,
guy?"
are you the other guy?
We had someone ask for a private message.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I do." And he's like, "Are you the other
Other
guy
guy,
on the
yeah.
podcast?" I'm like, "I am Blaze, correct."
That's what happens when you're the talent. No, I'm joking. He's like, it was somebody I knew. I was going to be like, yeah, they were
Yeah.
like, oh, I know who Boomer is. Are you the other guy? No, that's not. But that is a cool feature, and there's actually many options. So I'm going to start looking at it more. Just check your, you'll get invites if I decide to open up or Blaze, either one of us open up a chat. You'll get invites through Facebook to join. And if there's something you want to talk about, bring it up in the group chat. Let's throw it down. We can talk about episodes. We can talk about current wrestling, past wrestling. Whatever. You got a question, all that stuff. You want to hate on Blaze? You want to hate on me? Fuck you.
Why would you want to? Because Blaze is fucking awesome.
Blaze is the man. Don't you know this?
Absolutely.
So that's where the second thing that may happen. So we do got some things happening. We're moving on up.
So, yeah, it might be another
special guest coming up.
Another special guest.
And I'm all for it.
Yep. As long as everything goes well, we'll hopefully
have
the first special guest.
We had talked about that a little bit, and then I forgot, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
The other guest, I kind of forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Because we do real life, too. So sometimes you forget things, you have to work and all that. I cooked breakfast for the entire
But I want to make sure that we have this, that we definitely are going to have these before we announce anything, so
that's why you just
we're just going to tease, just a little dick tease.
Still, just the tip.
Just the tip.
But you got to stay tuned.
That's right.
All right, so now I guess we will move on. That's everything now, right? I'm glad you brought those up, though.
I believe so.
So now we will move on to wrestling.
I figure we might want to talk about it.
I'm actually not going to start with AEW this week. They don't have a whole lot. I'm going to start with WWE because I want to talk about Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
I'm sure, Blaze, you were a little disappointed that we didn't get traditional Survivor Series matches.
I was a little disappointed. Those War Games matches. Now, first off, I'm going to say the women, hell of a show. The women's were. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that the men's Survivor or War Games match wasn't bad.
No.
It wasn't bad. In fact, it was really good.
But the women, man.
But it was more of a story. Like, the men's told a story. The women's just gave it their all.
They literally.
Hell yeah.
Pulled
Fantastic.
Go women. On this one, because they pulled out all the stops,
that War Games match was, and that was the first match of the show.
Yeah, they kicked it off.
Holy shit!
So I am totally okay with them sticking with the War Games theme, even though I missed the old school Survivor Series matches. But
I did miss the. I also was kind of disappointed with the fact that I thought that it was kind of a Survivor Series match. I thought they had to pin someone.
Yeah,
I didn't fully understand the rules.
Right, but I used to watch WCW.
And that's how it was.
So yeah, it was always the match couldn't end until everybody was in there, but you only had to beat one person.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed about that because when the first person got pinned, I was like, wait a minute.
But WCW pins weren't an option. They might have changed it later. It used to be you had to make someone quit.
Oh.
Whether it was submission or, so it was almost like a giant I quit match. They didn't do pins back in the day. You had to make somebody literally give up. So
that's fair.
That changed a little bit. Yeah, the women's match was good. There were a few scary spots, a few botches in it, but there were also some really badass spots.
It was fantastic. I loved it.
The leg drop from Becky from the top to end it, I hope she didn't break that little tailbone of hers, because wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I've seen a lot of anything diving off the cage. Anything, don't get me wrong. It's all risky. But have you ever seen anybody leg drop from the top of a cage like that?
I'm pretty sure I have.
I don't know. But
there has to be.
I'm sure it's happened. It's just that is another level of risk as far as the person delivering the leg drop. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking, wow, if you landed wrong, ask Hulk Hogan how those leg drops can, fuck you up. But yeah, hats off to the women, because
fantastic.
It was a hell of a way to kick it off, and the women literally put everything they could into that match.
Oh, so. It was the best thing of the night. That's for damn sure.
And it was a hell of a way to.
And like I said, the men's was also great.
It was all about the bloodline. I mean, the story of the bloodline.
The subverted expectations too, because everybody I talked to thought for sure that this was where Uso or Sammy was going to turn and work with Kevin, and it was not. Absolutely opposite. He gave Kevin Owens on a silver platter
Right to the chief.
And now he's an honorary Uce. He's a true Uce.
He's a true Uce.
He's a true Uce.
I think I messaged plays
even,
he went into Sami Zayn, he came out Sami Uso, baby. I'm telling you.
He got the respect of all the Usos.
Yeah. I'm starting to think, from the things I've seen lately, that Sammy's not really the one you have to worry about. I think it's Soko or Solo or,
You think Solo's going to turn?
If you watch his mannerisms and stuff, sometimes, he seems like the one that's not feeling everything. And they've they've went out of their way to make it public that he hadn't seen Roman in over a decade before he joined the Bloodline. Is that legit? I don't know, but that's the story they have fed out there.
Right.
Well, I didn't even know Roman. Roman wasn't around. I haven't seen Roman in, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just wondering if he might be the... I also love that Roman stayed seated until he went in. Did you see the chair and the... So Roman sat down the whole time because he's the king. He had to sit on his throne before it was time to go in.
He's the tribal chief.
He is the tribal chief. That's for sure. AJ versus Finn. Excellent match.
Absolutely.
If anyone wants to be a wrestler and wants to know how to do a 450... watch AJ Styles, because he's the master. How did you feel about Finn's mask? See, I think his masks are a little weird. I miss him painting himself. That's not going to happen while he's in the, whatchamacallit. He's never not going to let him paint and be the demon. But this was better than the spiked one, I thought.
Yeah.
The spiked mask was really weird. This just looks more kind of like a futuristic...
Yeah, it was cool.
AJ's mask I knew. That was his Japanese mask from... when he was in New Japan, so AJ's mask.
Oh, okay. So
anybody that's watched Japan and is familiar with Bullet Club, they knew AJ's mask and was shocked because here again, Triple H is, Tony Khan tried to bust the door open. Triple H is just creeping it a little. He's trying to let... I think we talked about this a month or so ago, how Carl Anderson has a title over there. And at first New Japan was like, well, if you're not going to defend it this day, we're stripping you. And that was the same day as Crown Jewel.
Right.
They did not strip him of the title. And Triple H is letting him defend the championship. At an New Japan show, and as far as I know, I'm not talking way back in the day. I'm talking more modern era because they did it like way back in the 80s and stuff. But that's going to be like the first guy I know from WWE to wrestle at a New Japan show like that. For a long. I'm talking since the 90s probably. So
right,
Triple H is going to let him defend his championship though. So that's good. Ronda versus Shotzi. Ronda Rousey is very beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
Ronda Rousey was a badass UFC fighter. Ronda Rousey's not a wrestler. It's just... I thought her second run was going better, but she's okay, I guess. But her in-ring work's not that great. She always, to me, seems like either she's forgetting what's supposed to be happening or that she's just not in sync with her opponents. I really wanted to like Ronda as a wrestler, but...
Because I didn't really notice it. I like Ronda. I like her with Shayna. I think she's being a good heel.
She is being a good heel, but the in-ring work is what's getting me. It's not her. It's not her or her promos or it's...
Right.
The problem with me being this older wrestler fan is I pay more attention, I guess.
Right.
And I see more stuff that I wouldn't have when I was young.
Fair enough.
It's that damn perception that sometimes is good and sometimes it sucks.
I guess I didn't notice it.
You know what I mean?
I did not notice it.
I've noticed a lot
Thought
of things.
Thought it was a decent match.
Like I never used to notice knee slaps back in the day, and I see them all the time now. Stuff like that I would have never noticed, and it was fine. It's whatever. It was on there. It's fine. It was good. It was okay. And like we talked about the main event, the main event was also really good.
Oh yeah,
and everybody was feeling Uzi at the end. I don't care who you are.
I felt like,
and of course, Kevin gave his little tribute to Dusty with his ring gear, which Dusty created War Games, so that's why he was originally. That was Dusty's creation, so that's why Kevin was doing that. Anything else about Survivor Series? Overall, good show.
Like I said, both War Games matches were absolutely fantastic. The rest of the show was decent.
Yeah. And we're getting into WrestleMania season, and I'm so excited to see what this.
We got Royal Rumble next month.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, nice segue. You didn't even know I was going there next, did you?
I did in my mind's eye.
You did in my mind. You're like, I know where he's going next. He can read. The rumor, of course, which everybody I think expects, is Cody's plan to return at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
But my guy, my inside source, I feel like I'm somebody when I say that, but I do know someone who works for Wrestling News Source, which is a very reputable website. But anyway, reputable. I can't speak today.
Reputable.
The rumor is, which we talked about this in the last episode, is The Rock is being discussed to return for the Rumble. And we literally just talked about this in the last episode because I said, if the plan is Roman Rock, how can Rock not be in the Rumble? How do you get around that? So,
yeah, it makes it hard when Tribal Chief has all the world.
Yeah, he has both titles. They've still done nothing to try to take one away. It doesn't look like they're even going to try to take one away.
I have mixed feelings on this. Number one, I have mixed feelings because I love The Rock. I absolutely love The Rock. The more I learn about The Rock, the more you gotta love him. Absolutely love him.
Yeah.
I do have slight issues with legend contracts and coming back and just winning the Rumble. I feel like that should be more for young guys, pretty much,
right,
elevating new people, or not even new people, but people that, deserve it, earn it, someone who's been there for 5 to 10 years who hasn't had that shot, gets that last bump through the Rumble win.
Right.
So, and I feel like when you throw like The Rock in there, no, don't get me wrong, The Rock versus Roman, storyline wise, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And this is where my mixed feelings are. It's a great storyline because, they're related. So, you have a great storyline. I hate the way it's done, probably going to be done, but it's the way you'd have to do it because right now he has he has the titles. I wish that we had the titles separate.
Right. And
and then the Royal Rumble winner could go after the other one.
Well, like it used to be.
And then
because you used to choose. You used to choose which champion.
And then we have The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
But I
don't know how you do that without taking the title off of Roman.
I don't. And really, you got to remember, too, that Triple H has taken over since then and has had... Vince did. This was Vince.
Yeah.
Like, Vince painted the company into a corner before Triple H became the head of... nobody wanted to put the titles together like that. That was a Vince thing. And now I just think there's so much more you got to think about, like... So we get to Mania, you do Rock Roman. If Rock wins, where do you go next? If you use The Rock to get the belt off Roman, who takes the belts from The Rock? Because The Rock can't be a full-time wrestler.
No, he's like the
and
biggest
his schedule's the biggest reason. Like, the Rumble makes sense because of that, because even if he's at a point where he can't wrestle, they could pull the Rumble off without him taking a bunch of bumps. Like that Mania match he had with Eric Rowan that was 15 seconds. So I could see him throwing him in the Rumble. I mean, the only other way you could do it is The Rock challenges the Royal Rumble winner for their title match.
I mean, maybe.
You could do that. I think most people assumed it was going to be Cody. But let's be realistic. If The Rock enters, everyone is going to think The Rock's winning. If The Rock's in the Rumble, you're going to be like, yeah, there's your winner. The Rock didn't come here to fucking throw a few people over the top and then get eliminated. Like, they're kind of painted into a corner.
They are. And I wish there was a way. I wish they could come up with some kind of
two titles would have been the easiest,
I wish they could find a way to do storyline-wise to take one of the titles off of Roman, and then the Royal Rumble winner gets to, face the other person.
Throw the Universal shit in the trash can. Get rid of that Universal Champion crap. I've never been a fan of the Universal title. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I'm the champion of the universe.
So you prefer like
world
the WWE,
or WWE, like it used to be. You had a world title, you had a WWE. I'm okay with that. I just don't like that word. Universal title just never made sense to me. I don't know. It just didn't it feel kind of when they introduced it. Weren't you like, "Where's Big Gold? Fuck this Universal. What are you doing? We now have a champion of the universe."
My biggest problem is that the title is like I just don't like the design,
and they're all the same.
Yeah, they're too similar.
So
like, give me some creativity. Give me some more creativity, or bring back the Big Gold, or the Winged Angel
something.
belt.
So those are the rumors for the Rumble. I think
Spinner belt.
well, I got a little bit of got a little bit of AEW to bring up too. I just want to mention real quick. Have you noticed all the little teases when Alexa Bliss is on? Have you got to see a lot of SmackDown?
I did not watch SmackDown this week.
Because almost every time Alexa's on screen, you're getting the video behind her of Bray. Like they just keep teasing that maybe Alexa's going to end up back with the doll showed up this week.
Oh, did it?
Lily. Is that her name? Yeah.
Lily.
So it was Lily this week too. Something I had missed and I had to rewatch was there was an interview on SmackDown. Bray was in the background the whole time and I never even noticed. Bray was in the background while two people were talking and he was arguing with himself. And I didn't notice it watching SmackDown, but somebody posted it on Facebook as a reel or something. So they're throwing Bray in everywhere they can. I just happened to miss it.
I was a little disappointed that Bray was not at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Apparently they're not doing that yet. Like when are they going to... I don't even know what the next pay-per-view is.
We probably have one in December, but I don't know what it is either.
Because they canceled day one, so there has to be something coming up between. But anyway, that's interesting. And I guess we should move on to some AEW. I've been talking for hours. No.
Sure. There's technically 40 minutes.
Oh, so see, it's not that bad. That's about normal. But that's about all I have for WWE, unless you have something else. There's no real exciting Bray this week because we didn't get,
Yeah.
They're still just trying to tease. There's only a few AEW things I'm going to address. The Elite came back on TV and they picked up their first win in the best of 7, so now we're at 2-1 in the best of 7 for the trios titles. And MJF came out last week to address the crowd and reveal a new world championship. He gave a great promo like he always does. And he does this big spiel about this isn't, this is garbage. That he threw the belt on the ground, so I'm thinking we're actually going to get another belt. It was the same belt but the strap's now brown with his it looks like the strap looks like his scarf.
Oh God!
He went through this whole thing about how this belt's not fit for me and blah blah blah, and it's the same title,
just with that
but it's got the custom
scarf.
strap now, and he's calling it the big. He had some word he used for the color, but he called it the big whatever belt. I want to say brown, but that's not the word he used. But he's like, this is now the BBB, the big whatever belt, and I'm like, oh, MJF's gold.
Is.
And then he proceeded to start talking to William Regal, and he said, I forgot to give you something, and he knocked Regal the fuck out. He attacked William Regal. But we all know now, because it is official, William Regal's actually leaving AEW already. He is heading back to WWE.
I heard that as a rumor. I didn't know it was confirmed
It's
yet.
confirmed now. Yeah, it's been confirmed by several sources that he is on his way back to WWE. For whatever reason, AWE just wasn't William Regal's thing. Part of it, I think, was...
I think part of it's less about AEW and more about he's excited about going back to
he never wanted to leave
Triple H.
He never wanted to leave WWE. He didn't want to leave.
That was probably
that was Vince. That was budget cuts. Second of all, I also know that he was ready to step away from being on TV so much. That's why they were trying to write him off as the NXT commissioner. You know what I mean? He wants to be backstage. He's ready for that phase of his career. He says the AEW locker room is a little out of control, whatever. But I think a lot of it was he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. Yeah, they were fighting backstage and not even watching out for their dogs. By the way, and if you're Sammy Guevara, you punch whoever you want backstage. But that's a whole other. I'm just saying, Sammy's never been suspended. So yeah, But congratulations if that's what he wants and he's going to be happy. More power to him. Go on back. You are a talent, but he's not in a ring anymore. So it's not like But that's how they wrote him off. I guess it's just... But I'm interested in what's going to happen with the Combat Club. Is the Blackpool Combat Club going to stay together?
I hope so.
Without a manager? Cause
I like that.
They really, none of them need a mouthpiece. They all are... I mean, Wheeler Yuta's gotten a lot better.
Brian's great.
He's always been able to talk on the mic. Claudio's not bad. Cesaro's always been decent. And Moxley, it just has to be Moxley.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Moxley fan, but they love him. Moxley can do no wrong in AEW. So,
I want to love Moxley. I really do. He's just kind of boring to me, but I want to love him. He's a Cincinnati guy.
He's a Cincinnati guy. He's a great worker. And
he was at the Bengals game.
Yeah, and he's been with there for the company every time he needs him, but I just can't. I don't know. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him.
It's not that I hate him. It's just he's not super interesting, I guess.
Not really.
Not since he's been in the Shield.
Yeah. And a lot of it, like I said, as silly as it sounds, is when he comes out the Wild thing, I'm not thinking, oh, here comes a badass. I'm thinking here comes Charlie Sheen in his glasses, ready to pitch at, like I'm thinking of Major League. I'm not even thinking of...
And he hasn't...
like Orange Cassidy can have uplifting, goofy music because it's his character. If Moxley's supposed to be this badass, like Stone Cold was, his original AEW music was better. It had no words and it was just like guitars and stuff, just like a badass. I don't know, whatever. I try. But I think that's all the AEW news except fuck Jeff Jarrett. He doesn't need to be.
Fuck Jarrett.
He's still showing up on TV somehow. And just a quick congratulations to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who came back and had a successful comeback. He wrestled with FTR, and they took on Jay Lethal, Brock Anderson, and one of the Guns, one of Billy Gunn's kids. But Ricky came back, 70-something years old. Had a good match. His match was way better than Flair's. I love you, Flair. Yeah, but yeah, just retire. They got to be offering these guys some good money. Because here's the thing, Flair wanted Steamboat to do his last match, and Steamboat's like, no, I don't want everybody to see me now. I'm 70-something years old. And then a month later, he's like, the Return of the Dragon. Like, it's got to be some good money,
Yeah, Ricky Steamboat hits Flair with his walker.
I'm not going to hate if they want to do it, whatever. And it's not like Ricky did it on some big, is it big time wrestling? It's not like it was a big promotion, And
he's pulling out his diaper.
The Dragon's not much of a... He tried to blow fire, but all that came out was just smoke, like dust. Yeah. He was trying to... And it was just charred, It's
understood.
All right, well, enough of us running our mouth. Are we ready to watch a pay-per-view?
Yeah, let's watch
that is
in
what
your
we do,
house.
Right? Let's do it.
6. Because there's a lot of them.
A lot of them. All right, so this starts off with, I'm loving these viewer discretion advised things, because listen, once you see Sunny in a bikini on the beach, it's a little too late.
I know, they don't even try.
The last time it was a bathtub.
Yeah, and
I'm going to take my sexiest female.
The best part about this is the Sunny telling us viewer discretion is advised is worse than probably anything we see on the actual show.
Exactly. And the funny thing is you say that, but see, no one vents it's probably on purpose, because the parental advisories are really more for the violence, because they're still taking pushbacks for all the violence. So Vince is like, it's about the violence, I'm just going to take these scantily clad...
sex.
Yeah, let's just sow the seeds here.
I heard that it sells.
Sex sells, baby. Besides, I have all these millions I need to do something with, so we might as well throw some
he's already been
there.
Throwing some hush money to Sunny, I'm sure. For sure.
Sean had to throw a little her way too, but that's a whole other story.
Do you think Sean needs to throw hush money your way?
Well, it didn't work if he did, because everybody knows they slept together. Did you know until today? There was a little fling.
I just assumed. I assumed Shawn...
There was a little fling.
I assume Shawn Michaels just fucks.
What's great is years and years and years later, and I don't think we'll see it because it's a Raw, but when Brett's in the Hart Foundation and they're bad, and he's talking shit to Shawn, and he says something about sunny nights, and he's not talking about, the actual sun. He's talking about Shawn's affair with Sunny. It's good shit. Yeah. That happens years later. He throws that out there. You and your sunny nights. I wish I would have had some. Anyway, Sunny warns us.
Not now.
Not now. But if you want to see her now, I don't know why I promote her OnlyFans. I don't get anything out of that. Why am I telling her, go check her OnlyFans
Go
out.
check this OnlyFans. It's not great.
It's not great.
But check it out.
But check it out anyway. After the parental advisory, we get the In Your House little store, and this time they ran over the logo. The In Your House even rang the bell, and they ran over.
That was nice.
That was not cool.
In Your House is not normally as kind and courteous.
Right.
As
they broke in a couple.
Bells. Yeah,
they broke in a couple In Your Houses.
Broke in through the window. Broke through.
This time you just ran him over when he tried to ring the doorbell.
Well, I guess it wasn't that nice.
Then we get this opening package of the main event, which is going to be Diesel and Brett in a steel cage. But they're throwing The Undertaker in the mix, and he's not even on the card. Oh. Because of, we saw the Diesel Undertaker thing and all that, so I get why they're talking about The Undertaker. But he's not even
it for for WrestleMania.
Well, and they were also trying to sell the fact that this is why you need a cage because, whatever. But
because you can't trust Undertaker to come in and fuck things
Can't trust
up.
that Undertaker not to come in and fuck this matchup. But we go from there. We get Vince and King on commentary. They're talking about the night, and finally, I've been complaining about this for weeks. What's our opening match, Blaze?
We have Razor Ramon versus the 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Finally.
Or the Kid. I don't know. What
he's still got the shit on his trunks. We were talking about that.
1, 2, 3.
I'm a heel now, and I'm with Ted DiBiase, but I still have my babyface music, and I'm not changing my gear, and that's just the way it is.
I still look like I'm in a tag team with Razor Ramon, which is so confusing.
They had identical colors on their gear. This is Wrestling 101. I hear commentators like JR.
I just think the Kid is just very stubborn.
JR's really...
I ain't changing for shit.
Yeah. Jim Ross is really bad about this. Like, he'll literally bitch, like, don't these wrestlers know that you both should not wear the same color gear when you're facing each other and you're not a tag team? Whatever, it's nitpicking. I just thought, wow, look, they're gear matches. Kid was
so literally every time someone faced Stone Cold, it's like, you can't wear black.
Yeah, don't wear black.
No black.
How are we supposed to know who's good and who's bad?
What are we going to do if they ever had Austin versus Goldberg?
Right.
They, literally have
somebody
the same
needs
look.
a wig and somebody has to wear some different trunks. That's what they got. But anyway,
Would you like to be stunning again?
Well, Goldberg, remember, tried to wear those. He had those half white, half black deals when he came to WWE. He tried to change his look when he came because Austin was there.
Because Austin was there, yeah.
So you had to change your look a little, whatever. Those two never looked alike, and I never thought in my head that Goldberg was a knockoff of Austin. Just because they were both bald doesn't mean they were anything fucking alike.
They had the same goatee.
They looked nothing alike,
same
though.
Trunks.
Like, I guess if you weren't a real wrestling fan, you could have mixed them up. But
they had the same look.
I guess.
Even though they didn't, they didn't look alike because they're not brothers, they're not twins.
They had a similar look. They had
a very...
But they weren't the same character in it at all.
No, not really.
Goldberg couldn't wrestle. Austin could. Goldberg had 30-second matches.
Goldberg's not good on the mic.
So yes, there were similarities in their looks, but...
Yeah, Goldberg was like...
Yeah, Goldberg couldn't talk. He was not a...
I know we make this joke a lot, but it's like if you got something off a Wish.
It is,
That's
though.
Goldberg.
That's the knockoff,
Goldberg,
yeah.
knockoff.
And he was never as big as Steve Austin. But anyway...
Never.
He was never as big as...
I'm not even going to argue. I can't stand Goldberg.
Yeah, so he's not going to argue that.
No.
We might have talked about this on the podcast before, but you got to talk about Stone Cold Rock Hogan. Stone Cold outsold Hulk Hogan in merchandise. So, I mean, Goldberg's nowhere close to the level of those kind of guys.
Steve Austin deserves it over Hulk Hogan, too.
But imagine how long that was. Like, it took that long for someone to outsell Hogan. That's a long time. I mean, Hogan was still
we've been
around,
watching this, and the only superstar I would even think would be Shawn, and Shawn is not... Shawn is like one of the best wrestlers out there, but he didn't have the pull that Hogan had. Like,
because he wasn't.
It was all Hogan.
Yeah.
Like when Hogan was around, you didn't give a shit about anything else other than Hogan.
And that's just
Where Shawn was in there with other greats like Bret Hart and. Not saying there isn't other greats like Roddy Piper.
Hogan overshadowed everybody.
Overshadowed.
That changed.
Shawn never did that. Shawn was just...
It changed later on.
Shawn stole the show when he was out there.
But he didn't overshadow. Like when Hogan was around, we've talked about it before. Jake never was a champ. Piper was never a champ. Perfect was never a champ. Rick Rude was never a champ. You could go down and down, and it was all because...
Hell, I don't even know if... How many actual main events has Shawn been in?
That's a good question.
He hasn't been in a whole bunch. He's normally the best match of the show.
Yeah.
Like when he faced Razor Ramon twice.
Because he's not that Shawn.
Match.
He's not that Shawn yet, but we're about to see him start main eventing a lot.
Well, yeah, he'll
we just
eventually
haven't got to
get
that
there.
point.
But at this point, what we've watched, there hasn't been anyone that is like, they're trying with Luger and it didn't work. They tried with Diesel, didn't really work. Yeah, like Vince is trying to get his Hogan. And until The Rock or Austin, we don't have anyone that's does
that huge. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and I'm not a big fan of Hogan. I recognize what he did for the business.
For the business, yeah.
He was the face. There was no one. I guess that's the biggest thing. When you're so big that people outside of wrestling know who the fuck you are.
That
was Hogan.
Yes, and now that's still like The Rock. Most people know who Stone Cold is. Flair. There's those few people.
I was talking to someone today. He says, like, I don't really know any wrestlers because I mentioned, what was mentioned? And I was like, you don't know Shawn Michaels? I don't know. He's like, I don't recognize that at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you know who Hulk Hogan is, right? He was like, well, yeah, he was in other stuff. He was in movies. He's like, I know one other guy. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty big. I'm like, Stone Cold Steve Austin? He's like, yeah.
That guy.
So that was he's like the only other person. Even Roman's huge right now, but I bet you most people outside of wrestling don't know.
And it's hard for us wrestling fans because we live in a world where we think everyone knows. Like, even if you don't watch, you don't know who
you should know who these people are.
But I bet everyone knows The Rock.
Well, yeah, but he's like the biggest movie star on the planet.
Yeah.
My dad watches and likes The Rock. Not as a wrestler.
Yeah, but everything else, yeah.
But he enjoys watching The Rock's movies.
Yeah.
My dad loves The Rock.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
But my dad does not like wrestling.
Right.
Not my wrestling.
No.
He likes like the old mat wrestling that Kurt Angle
Olympic
used
style
to do.
wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
You know. It is what it is, right?
It is.
So we get our first match.
Oh yeah, we got a match.
We finally get Razor versus Kid. And they start to come out and they inform us this is a crybaby match. And the loser of this match has to wear a diaper and be
I
fed.
thought Johnny Depp was going to show up.
Right. Fed a bottle and put in a diaper. But at least they finally had a few. It was a hard-hitting match.
It was a good match.
We were watching it and I told Blaze, I said, like, my props to the Kid because Razor looks like he's really fucking
trying to kill him.
Yeah, laying everything into Kid.
I feel like somehow the Kid actually pissed off Razor Ramon.
Yeah. Why? And I said this is prior to the time Razor was kind of angry because he was not happy with where he was at in the company.
Well, you already mentioned he wasn't too happy about facing Goldust. So.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about the Goldust thing.
This is
He
right
lost the
after
title
that.
to Goldust, and now you're putting me in a match that's called a fucking crybaby match, and I have to put a diaper on somebody. What are we doing? You've built up this great feud between Razor and the Kid, and we're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw him in your house, and we're having a crybaby match.
You know that Razor was in there. He's like, I'm not fucking losing that
You're
match.
right. Like, this is not.
That's not happening. I'm leaving if that's the case.
Shit. And I'm leaving anyway, but don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
Good match. There were a few spots. Okay, so I was a little critical because there was a spot in the match where DiBiase gets into the stroller that the Kid pulled out with. He pushed the stroller out there with a Razor Ramon bear. They don't do those anymore, but back when we were young at this period of wrestling, they sold these bears, and the only difference in all the bears was whatever outfit they had on. So it was a Razor Ramon bear because it had on Razor's gear. And so DiBiase pulled out baby powder, got a handful of it, threw it right in Razor's eyes, right in front of the ref, and nothing was even said. And they never said it was a no DQ match.
Well, it's a bunch of little dust particles. It's fine.
Razor sold the hell out of it because I'm like, oh no, not the baby powder.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Has any kind of like dust or has any of that ever been disqualified?
Fuji once, I think, but usually the ref doesn't clearly see it. Like, he was looking, you know what I mean? They didn't even try to make it a spot where the ref wasn't looking. Like, he was right there. He saw it fly past him.
Yeah, but you have, like, for example, Asuka spits stuff out at people, the mist and everything. And it shows it, I mean, he may not see it, but it shows
on the replay?
visual. Well, not even the replay. Oh. There is a residual on
like,
your face. I mean, look at the...
it's the old hear no evil, see no evil. They didn't see it, so they're like, it's fine, you got green mist.
Look at the fucking... The War Games match we just watched. Asuka used it.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was no DQ.
No DQ, but still, yeah.
But they were green the rest of the night.
I feel like the ref was just like me, and he's like, well, I mean, it's fucking baby powder. You're going to be okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're going to be fine.
It would blind you for a second, but Razor sold that shit like it was mace. Like,
you got to sell.
Well, not always, because what happened later on when Kid put that sleeper on?
He did not sell.
Razor wasn't selling shit.
He didn't sell until he was starting to go to sleep.
Yeah, he looked like
he just looked mildly annoyed that the
kid's taking way too long of a piggyback ride.
It's like, son of a bitch, get off me.
And then Razor's like,
son of a bitch.
Razor's putting his arm out to try to get to the rope, but he's not even like
you
his
are
arms
double
just
the kid's size, and you're telling me you can't move 2 inches to
and he
your
wasn't.
front?
That's how no selling he was doing. He had his arm out. He wasn't reaching for shit. Like, he just had his arm out.
Yep.
And every time the camera showed him, he just had this look like, is this...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
this piggyback
this might be Razor's last match that we get to watch. I don't know if he's at WrestleMania, but he does not look like he gives
It was not the normal.
damn.
It was not the normal.
Well, that's the weird thing. He's not selling this, but holy shit, does he sell damaging 1, 2, 3 Kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh, those Razor's edges looked rough.
And the ring made so much noise.
Yeah.
But there was later, towards the end, the Kid got some baby powder, and Ted distracted the ref, and the Kid tried to throw it in Razor's eyes, and he kicked his hand, and it went in the Kid's eyes.
You know what? I understand to your, you're saying that, that baby powder is not really going to bother you too much. It's a cool visual, though.
It is.
The baby powder is a cool visual. I mean...
And it would blind you. Razor just sold it too much, if that makes sense. Because no matter what, if somebody throws...
As a fan of overselling and Sean, you can't
say...
not to mention, there's another man out there who oversells the shit out of things. And that's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Yes.
And he is a great overseller.
He is. I mean, I get it. Because if anything got
Maybe
thrown
that
in...
was an homage.
If anything got thrown in your eyes, you're gonna stop for a minute. You're gonna cover your eyes.
Here, let me throw some baby powder in your eye. Let's see how you feel.
Where's the assistant? We need baby powder.
We need baby powder.
So it would distract you, but whatever. I was just being anal for no reason,
You are being anal.
I am.
It's a cool visual. It was
is a cool
used to
visual.
good effect, and I love the kick to.
He did. He kicked his hand and went right in the Kid's face.
Kicked it to the Kid's face, and then does the Razor's Edge, and it was out.
Killed him.
Brutal.
Killed him with the Razor's Edge.
He gave him 2 brutal Razor's Edges.
Because he gave him the first
Probably the
one.
best Razor's Edges we've seen on the podcast.
And he went for the first one, and he got a 2 count, and then pulled the Kid's head up right away. Well,
yeah, he's like,
after
fuck
the 2,
this.
he's like, nope, and then he gave him another one.
Negative.
Yep, gave him another one.
You know, when he did that, you know what I thought of? His buddy, Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash did the same thing and not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, Kevin Nash did the exact same thing.
They're showing the signs are on the wall.
Yeah, they're
the
very
outsiders.
Similar,
You don't even know
though
it.
they haven't been around.
Yeah, interesting. But overall, good way to kick off the show. I mean, right away you got Razor Ramon out there, so the fans are happy. It was a good match. It was a little silly. The Kid did get put in a diaper in the end and had to suck on the bottle. Ted DiBiase got a face full of baby powder. It looked a little like we were watching The Wrong in Your House for a second. Razor was getting a little, having too much fun with that. It's like he cradles the kids.
Sonny warned us.
Yeah, he puts the kid's knees up by his head. I'm like, what? Whoa, did we download? You sure this is Peacock? What's going on?
There was some peacock in there. There was some peacock about to come through.
Thankfully, Ted broke that up, so we didn't have to see all that. Then the Kid woke up and acted like he didn't know where he was, and then he saw he had the diaper on, and then he cried.
I don't know.
Props to 1, 2, 3 Kid for crying when the match was over.
And I get that you're not going to take it, but it was kind of weird putting the diaper on him while he's still wearing everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You thought maybe they'd do it like later or something, not right after the match. It was kind of, but whatever.
You thought the diaper was going to be put on and he was going to come out
the winner of the
pushed
first
out or something.
And only crybaby match in the history of the sport was Razor Ramon. Sorry. So there you go. I don't think this ever happened again that I recall. I mean, I've seen people in diapers since then, but not as a match stipulation. Yeah, there's been somebody else beside the Kid. I remember seeing someone in just a diaper, but I don't remember who it was. Thinking it was a commentator, but it might have been Michael Cole. They've done a lot of stuff to him over the years.
Was it when you saw the Ric Flair or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wrestle recently?
Ouch!
New trunks.
Da-da-da. Yeah. Oh man! All right. So overall, good match. It was entertaining. Good way to kick off the show. I am going to give it 3.5 baby bottles.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. 3.5. Baby powder.
Baby powder. Baby powder, kids, is very dangerous. I've learned that after this match. Ted took a shot to the face too. Stay away from the baby powder.
Stay away from the baby powder.
It's dangerous.
All right, let's get to the next match.
Okay, so before our next match, we get Sonny, and I want to say that is Jacques Rougeau? But it was one of the Rougeau brothers. He's a commentator now, and they were talking about the Superstar line, and they showed a little clip from earlier in the night on the free-for-all where Jake scared Sonny with his snake. The first thing I said was, "Oh, come on, Sonny, you've seen snakes bigger
That's
than that."
not what she said last night, Trebek.
Running from that snake. That ain't the biggest one you've ever seen, And then our next match, man, I love Triple H, but boy, oh boy. We got Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus the fucking Garbage Man. Duke the Dumpster Droese.
Duke the Dumpster looking like he came out here with your local Shirt Shack outfit.
Like, so he comes out with this quote-unquote new look, and it was like 12 steps back.
I've seen better outfits in my local wrestling program.
Yeah. Like, the last time we saw him, he was wearing more like a legit Garbage Man attire, and it just had like the name patch on it. Now it's a green prison jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's
weird. Supposed to look like a Garbage Man with no sleeves. And he's got a weight belt on that's supposed to be a back brace, I guess.
Why do we keep having Triple H face these, like...
Garbage?
Rednecks?
By the way, his back belt brace, whatever the hell it was, said sanitation specialist. Because everyone knows little kids want stuff that says Garbage Man and sanitation specialist. Like, I'm sure his merchandise...
I want the Duke the Dumpster toy!
That's right. We were talking about Hogan. Fuck Hogan. You want some Droese merchandise. I mean, he was making those shirts in the parking lot, so he could have sold them really cheap. Like,
it comes with his shortened paycheck. What's the government doing to me now? Duke the Dumpster.
Duke the Dumpster's here to save the day. He cut his hair too, like whatever. This was a boring match. It was boring. Triple H is good, but it was a boring match. And like he sent him into the stairs once. That was cool. That was a nice hardship, but it was just, I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck what happened. I watched it, but was anybody really in the crowd going, Mommy, it's the car? Except for the kid whose dad's actually a Garbage Man. That kid's like, do you do this too, Dad?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a lot cleaner than you, Dad. What's going on?
Shh, hush, money. Yeah, it was boring.
Duke the Dumpster had to cancel tonight's show. He had to go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning.
This is how exciting the match was, that we're just talking shit about this Garbage Man character. That
Duke the Dumpster.
Yeah, it's not, at least like, okay, there's a lot of stupid characters right now, but at least like Isaac Yankem is big and looks intimidating, so he has something going for him, right? Evil Dentist works.
We have a giant big guy. What do we need to have him be? Dentist.
By the way,
nothing says I'm a large fucking man like I'm a fucking dentist.
In theory, right, if this was quote-unquote real life, shouldn't the Garbage Man probably be a little bit bigger and in better shape than the guy that just rides horses around all day? Like,
No, I've seen Garbage Men. It's normally some big, tall, fat dude.
Wow. I was a Garbage Man for a while, but, whatever.
They hang on, they just hang on
the... They just hang out on the truck.
They hang on the truck, jump off.
And stop at Shirt Shack to pick up their order when it's ready, because...
they're bigger guys, so they're strong and they can throw them in, but... It's not like they're doing a lot of cardio. And you think they're running next to that garbage can?
Well, if they take off without you might be,
I just pissed off a shitload of garbage, man.
You can send your hate mail to the email. We'll give you that at the end of the show. Don't worry. We'll open up a chat for you. Besides, we got to piss...
I'm about to get a sanitized comment.
We got to piss somebody off every week. We've pissed off Canada before.
Well, you've already mentioned Savio. So you've already
Where is Savio?
Pissed off the Latino population.
Oh, jeez. Towards the end of this match, Duke the Dumpster thought he was going to cheat. Mm-hmm. He throws the garbage, he gets his garbage can, he throws the lid in first and it legit hit Triple H in the head, so he threw it wrong. Like, he was supposed to just toss it in the ring and it legit. You know how tough those trash cans are. The ref's not looking, and Triple H ends up hitting Droese with the garbage can lid, and the ref turned right when Triple H did it and saw every fucking... These refs are not on their game! Shit. What is going on?
He didn't see shit, and refs are the most deaf people on the planet. If they don't see it, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And he can't hear shit.
Triple H literally almost smacked him in the face with it when he went to throw it out of the ring, but,
Triple H did us a favor.
He did. He ended this fucking match.
Ended that fucking match. It sucks that
I love
you know what? The Pigpen match was actually way more fun than I expected.
Yeah, because it was entertaining.
It was actually entertaining.
Yeah. This was just boring. It wasn't a bad...
They keep on booking Triple H with these shit wrestlers.
You're wasting his skill. Like, everything Triple H did looked great and all that, but nobody cares.
And poor Duke the Dumpster, because what probably happened is he went to talk to Vince McMahon. Vince was like, "Oh, what kind of profession have you ever had?
And he said,
well, I was a garbage man once. That's there it is.
Yeah.
You're Duke the
and
Dumpster.
this is that phase.
Sir, my name is Antonio.
Antonio.
Duke the Dumpster. There we go.
But we're going to keep Drose because we like that. We're going to keep your last name.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a last name.
I don't know if he does, but that's his
Dumpstay?
Duke the Dumpster Drose.
Drose.
It's French for garbage man, I guess. I don't know.
Of course it is.
I do. I love Triple H.
That'd be hilarious if it was. If it was French for garbage man, and this French man is watching, what the fuck is this?
I mean, they've done that stuff.
Duke the Dumpster.
They've done that stuff before, so you
that was probably not a French accent. I don't know where I was going.
That was not a very good,
French wee wee.
Yeah, as good as Triple H, as good as he is even now at this point, still early on, he's really good. He's got a lot of heat, and you're not doing anything to you know what I mean? He's got plenty of heat.
He's got a lot
you
of
need
heat,
that baby
even though
face.
He's facing against these shit wrestlers.
Yeah, you don't have a good baby face to put up against him because, so Triple H.
He gets booked better once he becomes Triple H.
And I am going to go low, and it's not because it was necessarily bad, but I was bored out of my mind.
I didn't care.
I gave two.
And I want to care because I love Triple H.
But, I was checking all my tweets while this was going on. I don't know. I'm going to give it... it's so boring. I'm going to give it 1.5 pedigrees.
I'm going to give it 2 garbage bags filled with trash.
It was definitely
just like this match.
This match was trash. I'm sorry, Triple H.
I'm sorry, Triple H, but you got dealt a shit hand.
Yeah. It's probably a good thing he slept with Stephanie, or it might have ruined his career.
Yeah.
I've been facing Giant Gonzalez and Mabel.
He's like, I keep facing fucking shit like Duke the Dumpster. Fuck the boss's daughter. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Kidnap her, marry her,
drug her
while she's drugged.
Little Jello.
We'll Bill Cosby this shit.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get hate mail. I hope.
Oh my god.
I hope. All right.
We actually got a comment on our. On
the YouTube page because you guys don't. You and Rage didn't know how to pronounce. And then I said something to you because like, listen, those early episodes, like you guys couldn't even say the Rougeau's name right. So
no, we're not French.
Are these the Rogus? The Ragu? I think one time they were called the Ragus.
Ravioli. I am actually surprised somebody just corrected me saying Jock.
Right. And not the last name
and
at all.
Not all the really terrible different names that I gave.
Yeah. But the good side of this is it means someone's watching the videos.
People are watching.
We know people are watching, and we appreciate that. We're getting a lot of views on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, we got I just started it, and I've only got, 8 episodes on there so far, and I've shortened them. I haven't got to shorten much because apparently me and my brother didn't do a lot of the beginning stuff. That's what I was planning on cutting.
Yeah, I
stuff.
don't think you guys rambled as...
We didn't ramble at first. I mean,
later on
we do.
Yeah, you start to, but in the beginning you didn't.
So far we haven't, so I haven't had a lot to cut. But I've been putting them together where instead of part 1, part 2, it's just one long episode, which I prefer. That's why we like doing these. I mean, they're longer episodes, but we like not having the
one
part.
shot. Yeah,
yeah, just one shot, get them through.
We'll get to that eventually, I'm sure, when we get to the 12-hour.
We get to like 5 to 6 hour pay-per-views. We're not going to be able to do a whole show like that. But
no, not until we get rich, and this is all we do. All right, well, let's hope something better is coming.
Okay, let's hope.
All right, so before our next match, we get a merchandise push in the commercial. Todd Pettingill's trying to sell us a bunch of shirts, and he's saying you can go to the store anytime as long as you call the 1-800 number.
Right.
He's playing it off like there's a physical store, and there's not, but whatever. Pushing some merch. Then we get a package to show us how Yokozuna ended up becoming a babyface. Yoko is now a babyface after accidentally killing Davey Boy Smith during the tag team match.
Well, he's already got the diapers.
Right. Did he borrow it from the kid? Or did he already have his own diaper?
I'm pretty sure he's had his own diaper the whole time he's been in wrestling.
So they show this package, and we get Doc, and Doc's like, gives this big long speech about some historical is going to happen because Yoko gets to finally speak. He's never done a promo because remember, Yoko is a sumo wrestler from Japan. Then he does a promo, and you're like...
That's why.
That's why he doesn't do promos.
That's why.
One, because it wasn't that good. Two, because as soon as he opened his mouth, it sounded like The Rock.
I cannot.
Jimmy Uso, like instant Samoan.
He doesn't
as
sound
soon
like
as,
The Rock.
But you know what I mean. Not what he was saying, but I'm talking about. I don't want to sound racist saying there's a Samoan accent, but there is. You know what I mean? Like you knew he was Samoan as soon as he spoke. Yeah. When I was a kid, I bought the gimmick. I did. Now you look at him, you're like, whatever. But you knew as soon as he started talking. Yeah. But it was a bad promo.
I still can't believe that Vince McMahon didn't take the easy route and have Mr. Fuji be his manager.
Mr. Fuji was, but we've never seen him with Fuji, have we?
I don't think so.
And I don't know why, because when he first came in, Fuji and Cornette would both come out with him. Mr. Fuji was his manager at one time. Maybe Fuji's gone by now.
Never mind. I guess I gave
it happened, but it happened.
Vince way too much credit.
So this is towards the end of Yoko leaving, though, so they decided to turn him face, and the match is Yokozuna against the British Bulldog. Bulldog comes out with James E. Cornette. Yoko goes to come out and still has the same music, but now, all of a sudden, he's running to the ring. Run. He's 600 pounds. He's not
He comes
walking.
to the ring with a brisk walk.
Yes, he's not doing the slow walk like when he was the other version of Yoko, but and it wasn't a bad match. At least it was more entertaining. Like this one had a reason. I wanted to see Yoko whip Bulldog's ass, because of everything they showed us. There might have been a few little sloppy. It's just because I know what happens, and I know that Yoko's death isn't much farther past this. You watch this match, and I was like, Blaze, look how he's spent already. It was like 3 minutes in, Yoko couldn't breathe. It's just sad. I just don't like to see this stuff knowing what we know today, But midway through the match, they thought Bulldog died too because now we're also using the Samoan drop.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not even, forget the samurai stuff. I'm just blessing my roots. So he killed Davey Boy with a Samoan drop, and then when he went to do a bonsai, and guess who came in the ring? Mr. Cornette with his big bad tennis racket. And he attacked him. And it was a DQ. It wasn't a bad match till then. It was entertaining. There was a story, even though Yoko shouldn't have done a promo. But there was still a story. He got beat up by everybody, so he's like, I'm going to extract my revenge. But Cornette came in and whacked, and that racket sounded like a hard shot. But he's also a very large man. He's like,
he has enough layers to protect himself from those racket shots.
Yeah, so he goes to attack Cornette, and then he gets jumped by Davey Boy, and then Vader comes out. Because I forgot, we just got Vader. Vader showed up at the Rumble. Vader's also part of Cornette's camp. Here we go again, weird though. Like, I never remember in WCW Vader coming out, because he had his gear on, but for some reason he was wearing a t-shirt and a leather jacket on top of his gear.
It was weird.
Did it not look weird? Does this not show you that Vince didn't know what the...
It looked like he was drinking at a college bar, and then Vince was like, hey, Vader, I need you to come out here and attack Yokozuna real quick.
I know you're busy.
I don't have my gear with me. Just fine. Come on out there, just as long as you have your mask.
But he had his pants.
Keep that all over.
Yeah, he had his trunks on too, though. It was weird. I don't know. They didn't know what to do with Vader. They didn't. This was part of Vince just snagged him up because he could.
In fairness, his last match, he was wearing his outfit backwards. So
and now we got a t-shirt and leather jacket. He pulled some handcuffs out of his secret pocket. It was inside. First he was on this side and he didn't pull nothing out, so I think he realized his weed was in this pocket. And he had to go to the other pocket to get the handcuffs out.
Understood.
And then we just sat there and watched him beat up Yoko. Like, I kept waiting for someone to come out and save Yoko. No.
Nobody gives a shit about Yoko.
They just repeatedly beat on him and hit him with a tennis racket, and then they finally managed to get him to stop. So they're obviously building towards Vader and Yoko, but I don't remember that ever happening. I don't remember that match ever happening. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like they're trying to build to, and hopefully he gets a rematch so he can finish killing the Bulldog. So... Not a bad match. It was a short match, but it was entertaining, and it was what it was. I'll give it a little higher than the last one, that's for sure, because I didn't care about the last match. Right. At least in this one, you had something there, like, I want to see Yoko get his...
You had a bit of a story.
You had a bit of a story, so... I don't know, I'm going to give it 2.5 Samoan Japanese men.
I'm going to give it 2... Why are you a face?
Wasn't that a weird
choice?
choice?
I just don't see Yoko as a face.
Right.
Obviously, he probably shouldn't be on the mic.
No, he shouldn't. And
Especially if you're going to keep the Yokozuna as his gimmick.
And you did.
And you did.
But look at everything. So when they first got Yoko, and his name's slipping me, but when he first started wrestling for him on house shows and stuff, he was just himself. So he was, and the problem was they were like, do we really need another Samoan? They were afraid his talent would get lost in the shuffle if he was just another Samoan. But now you're at the point, though, that
I don't think Yokozuna is just another Samoan ever.
Well, no, but they were worried if they would have kept him as
I know what
who
you're
he
saying.
was, he would have just been another, and they had the head shrinkers and they had Fatu and they had, and they just didn't want another. It probably was better for him overall. I don't know if he would have been world champion if he wasn't Yokozuna.
Don't get me wrong, I like Yokozuna. I'm just saying.
But the reverting back,
when he turned face,
it's not working. It's not working with him as Yokozuna. It's not working.
Number one, you don't have a mouthpiece. You need a mouthpiece. Number
learned
two,
that out
especially if you're not going to go with a Japanese accent. And I'm not saying that all Japanese people have to sound like they're Japanese, but I mean, when it's so obvious you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of like the famous promo in Raw when Kofi forgot to use his Jamaican accent. Right. He was giving that big lecture, and then Triple H was like, I have one question. When did you lose your accent? Aren't you Jamaican? It was a great moment. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I do.
On Monday Night Raw, it was a great moment. So, but not a bad match.
Whoops, Mom.
Definitely. Whoops. My bad. Good stuff. So, did you rank this?
2.
Okay. And I gave it a 2.5.
Gave
I was
it a
making
2.
sure we get lost and we ramble and then I forget.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure. And I even listened to this show. But I think a couple weeks ago, we forgot to rank a match on one episode, but I don't remember which one it was. And we realized it after the fact. We're like, oh, look, he's telling me don't give away our secrets. All right, well, let's see what's next. Do you see this? We got an hour left, and there's 2 matches.
Oh wow,
this is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
let's see what happens. All right, so before the next match, we get a shot of America Online backstage, Vision of 96, and for some reason the wrestlers can't actually type the stuff themselves, so Goldust is backstage, very inappropriately stroking not the keyboard, but the man on the keyboard.
He's stroking something.
He's stroking something. And he said a bunch of stuff, but the only thing I could make out was Razor. That's the only thing I could understand.
He's just using, they're all just using their free CDs they got.
Right.
For their trial of
He is AOL. Going all the way back to AOL. Yeah.
AOL.
And then if your parents really loved you, they'd buy the instruction video too, so you knew what you were doing. You kids got it so good today. Like
I just used the AOL.
You remember the dial-up? Remember the dial-up noise from landlines? Mom, I need to make a phone call. I know, but the neighbor's on the internet.
Get off the damn internet! I need to call someone.
Anyway, so that was our backstage segment, and then I actually heard Vince talk about the next night, tomorrow night on Raw. It's going to be a rematch between Razor and Goldust. So that would be why they were.
Razor loved that.
Razor was so excited. He was watching that guy in the AOL computer, like, yeah, Chico.
Jealous.
But by the way, Sunny shouted out to Razor while she was backstage. Too.
Oh, yeah?
He said, what's up, Chico?
What's up, Chico?
So he'll show you what's up.
What you doing?
And then after that, we get a package talking about our next match, which, by the way, is Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels with Shawn's WrestleMania title shot on the line.
I misheard at first. I thought you were talking about Sonny was asking about Razor's package.
Maybe. But she finds out about Shawn's package, but that's a whole nother story. So, this package is showing how they've been selling how Shawn's so hurt. You know, he's still having some foggy moments from the Marty Jannetty School of Jobbers Marine job beat up. So, they showed a clip from Raw where Owen hit his kick, his enziguri, whatever you want to call it, and it gave Shawn a concussion. So, they're trying to sell this whole story. Shawn's like, fuck you, I'm coming back, I'm winning the Rumble, I'm going to Mania, and I'll even put my title shot on the line, fuck a concussion. That's what he said.
No, it's sad. We didn't get to see Ringmaster in this.
No, we haven't. We haven't really seen him much yet. But
we just saw them the one time.
Yeah. So he will be at SummerSlam, though. See, I keep... it's a dark match. I was at SummerSlam, he was there, but it's a dark match against Yoko.
Damn.
So we won't see that either. It had a really good moment, too. Because Yoko broke the rope. But anyway, Owen versus Shawn I already knew before it even started, and it was a great wrestling match. we're going back and doing this, and now I can just confirm more and more and more and more and more. If we take everything else out, I'm not talking merchandise, I'm not talking popularity, but if somebody says, who's your favorite wrestler, I'll say Shawn Michaels and not blink twice. And I'm talking about the in-ring. I'm talking about the wrestling. Nobody's better inside those ropes than fucking Shawn.
And it's crazy because he's also good at... He's all around great.
He is.
The wrestling... The in-ring is fantastic.
But you know, when you talk about your Mount Rushmore... Well, there's different levels. Of course, I'm a huge Hulk Hogan fan, but it wasn't because he was a great wrestler. It was his character.
I would hope not.
Yeah, it wasn't his...
He's not.
He could do insecurity kicks, though. See? I'm telling you. You gotta watch the Japan stuff. But anyway. But when it comes to being in that ring, somebody real close to Shawn, though, is Owen, man. Owen was so good. Owen was good. I wish we would have just got the scene. But this was a good match, and that's why. They give it a little bit of the story, which is fine, because I'd watch these two wrestle without any story. Because it's just that good.
Yeah.
There was a spot where Owen was trying to suplex Shawn into the ring, and it didn't work. And I'm like, he's not going to suplex Owen outside, but he did. Unfortunately, Owen's athleticism kicked in, and he landed right on his feet. You could tell that wasn't the plan.
Right.
Then Shawn tries to jump out on Owen, though, and Owen caught him in midair and power slammed him on the floor. That was a really good spot. That was a real good spot.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it looked like it hurt. It looked like it was an ouchie. There was a point where Owen had the sharpshooter on, and Shawn did what Shawn does and made it look like there was no way he was getting out of that hold. If it wasn't for the fact we're from the future and I know what's going to happen, like I might have thought the match was over during that sharpshooter. Even though a few spots it didn't look very painful. I hate being older and having those eyes, you know, like... It's also Shawn struggling. I'm like, Owen don't even have his weight on you. Like, he can't hurt that bad. He's like crouched, but he's not. But he still sold it. It's all about the selling. Owen's just as good. It was entertaining. Maybe it wasn't over the top, but because it was such a good wrestling match, like, I'm going to give this 4 inappropriate kisses to children. Which we will get to in a minute.
Yeah. He was giving that little girl a lot of kisses. Very awkward.
Very awkward.
You think he had to sign a waiver or something for that kid, or did he just randomly bring someone? She had to be a plant, right?
She had to be. Like, at first I thought...
It's probably like his niece.
I should have brought it up before I mentioned my ranking there, but this little girl comes in the ring, and at first I thought they just pulled her in because she had on all of Shawn's merchandise, and he did his Hulk Hogan posing and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end he kissed her right on the lips.
No, twice in the ring.
Twice in the ring? I missed the second one in the ring. Outside. And then leaving, he kissed her again.
Like right before he put her on his shoulders.
Yeah. Oh, he kissed her before the shoulder.
Before the shoulder, too.
And she kind of looked like that second one. She was like, I don't know if I should be. But anyway, we're hoping it was his niece.
It would be slightly less awkward if it was his...
I feel so dirty right now.
He just randomly kisses a random fan girl.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's not just a fan girl.
It had to have been a plant.
And they planted people a lot back then. I mean,
there had to be a plant, and there had to be... Her parents gave permission.
Oh, yeah. Or she's just a relative.
I'd like to think that all this was on the up and up.
It had to have been because... the steroid trial and all that just happened. There's no way Vince.
Yeah, there's no way they just was like,
pick the littlest girl. There's a million women here that would love to make out with Shawn, but pick the youngest girl.
I don't know if he could put a bunch of random women on his shoulders. So.
Well, no, that's true too. And that whole posing thing, yeah, I think it was all set up. But that's why I gave it the 4.
I mean, it's like the presidential kissing babies thing. You know,
It just didn't feel like that.
It just was
I don't
weird.
want to say that. It was just weird.
Well,
it was
no,
weird.
I'm gonna fight right here.
We don't think it's...
It's not like...
I don't mean like he was molesting her.
There wasn't like French kissing.
No tongue.
He kissed her... He did kiss her on the mouth, though.
On the mouth, though, yeah. And that one she kind of hesitated.
It was a peck. It was a quick peck, and...
It just was weird. It's not... We're not trying to make it...
It didn't seem sexual or anything. It was just awkward.
It seemed awkward, yes. It did not seem like he was like, hey, baby, we're not saying that. It was just a little weird. But that's why I gave it the 4 inappropriate kisses. But it's fine. Besides the kisses, though, what about the actual match itself?
This was a great match. I'm going to give it a 4 as well. Yeah, you kind of took the inappropriate kisses from me, so just 4.
Yeah, but if if there would have been if there would have been something outstanding that stuck out, it might have been a 5. But it was a great wrestling match.
It was just it was a good, solid match.
But the in-ring, the in-ring was, I could watch Owen wrestle all day.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And we're actually to the main event. We're into the main event already.
All right.
By the way, this was the first time we kind of saw when Shawn came out. He didn't come out of the house. He was on the roof of the house.
Yeah, that was
the
cool.
stage shed, and he did his little dance. And I thought he was yelling at somebody like "let me down," but what he kept yelling was "set the pyro off," because there was pyro. He kept looking down like, "Hey, hey!" So they set off some pyro, and then Shawn just used a rope to get down,
which is the coolest way to do that, I think.
Yeah, but it concerned me for a minute because it wasn't that high up. But he just literally—he didn't even try to slide down the rope. He swung off the house and just dropped while he was still swinging. And I'm thinking, man,
well, tell me,
he could have broke an ankle or something.
I understand.
That was my only quick
I understand your concern for a wrestler that wrestled 25, 30 years ago. However, you got swinging on a rope to get down, or slowly going down a ladder or something.
Right. I mean, you had to make it look cool. I get it.
Yeah,
it looked cool. And it did look cool because he's fucking Shawn Michaels. Not even the main event. No one's going to get an entrance like that for the main event. Brett and Diesel aren't going to get to dance on the house.
They're not fucking Shawn Michaels.
They're not fucking Shawn Michaels, man. I miss Shawn Michaels.
Right.
All right. Well, main event time. Cage match.
Cage match?
Maybe we'll see some blood. Let's do it. All right. So before the next match, we get a commercial for WrestleMania, which, by the way, I want to mention they were trying to talk about how great WrestleMania 11 was during this commercial. Don't lie to your audience.
Don't lie.
What it should have the tagline should have just been said WrestleMania 12. It has to be better, right?
It has to be better.
That would have been. It has to be better.
It can't get worse than that.
12 was so.
Did I? I think I put the last one on the bottom of my list, if I remember right.
I think so, or it was pretty close to it.
I was not happy.
After that, and I had actually noticed when they did a cutscene, I'm like, Blaze, the cage isn't above the ring. Because, nowadays, the cage is already assembled, hanging above the ring. They still had Big Blue at this in your house. And back in the days of the Big Blue cage, it was not pre-assembled, and they did it all by hand. So, to kill time, we get Todd Pettengill, and he introduces the acting president of the WWF, and it's fucking Rowdy Piper, baby. Love me some Piper. Piper is one of my favorites. He was just out there talking shit to fill time, but it didn't matter. You know what I mean? He was talking about Mania, talking about Shawn going to Mania. Then he's talking about Vader and Yoko, and Cornette comes out. But it was all just to buy time. You can see the guys in the back setting up the cage. So, and our main event, of course, is the title match between Bret Hart and Diesel inside a steel cage. And, it was another good match. When I watched this, and this is the end of Diesel's run, and I'm thinking, if you would have found Diesel more opponents like Bret when he was champ instead of fucking Mabel and Kama or whoever the fuck you threw at, Nash is good in the ring. You got to put him with the right guy. Has he had a bad match with Bret?
No.
I'm not saying this was over the top, right home to your mama bout, but it was a good match. Nash is a good big man, and his reign would have been a lot better if Vince wouldn't have had this mindset of, I have a giant champion, he needs giant opponents.
Right.
That's what that whole title reign was. No. We as fans like David versus Goliath.
Right.
And the matches turn out better. So they did have All Blue in the first.
Although I'm kind of excited about Diesel versus Undertaker.
Oh yeah. They've set it up so well too. And both can wrestle.
And that's the proper big man versus big man.
Because they can
it's
both.
Not big man versus holy crap, morbidly obese man.
No, and that makes no sense. And it's hard when the other guy can't wrestle.
Oh man!
What do you want Nash to do with 600-pound? I don't know what I'm doing, Mabel. What do you want him to do?
I just got this feeling washed over me. I just realized we watched a whole pay-per-view with no fucking Mabel.
We did because he's gone. Remember, I mentioned that on the last show.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, it felt good.
He's going to come back once in 98 for a one-off, 97, 98, and then he comes back as Viscera. And of course, I told my little story where that Undertaker interview. He's like, "Hey Vince, put him in the Ministry of Darkness. He'd be perfect." Wink, wink. Then I will never have to wrestle his fat ass again. But this was a good match. Some of these shots, there were two different times that Diesel slung Bret into the corner. The second one, I know it made more noise because the cage was there or whatever, but that hurt. They showed the replay of him just sending Brett into that corner in slow motion.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurt my boobies.
My titties are hurting.
That hurt my testicles.
That hurts my testicles.
And my testicles.
My testicles.
And of course, Brett worked over the leg, which makes sense in more than one way. His finisher's a sharpshooter, and the guy, like when Nash first got in the ring, Diesel, pardon me, he went to the corner, and this is the big blue cage, so for you younger fans, you may have never seen it, but Diesel literally just put his hand up and could touch. The cages are like 15 feet tall now. The blue cage was 7 to 8 feet tall. It wasn't, But yeah, Diesel could literally just... And then there was a spot where Brett was trying to get out of the cage, and Diesel jumped up and stopped him, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, what's Diesel going to do? Don't do no kind of crazy suplex. He didn't know. He was just giving knees to Brett's stomach. But because Brett was up top and in the corner of the cage, he just kept smacking, up against the cage. It was good storytelling, and I know by his reaction, Blaze really dug the end.
Yeah, it was.
And I think it's the first time we've seen this.
It was crazy. I wasn't. I guess I should have expected it since Diesel fucked Undertaker.
Undertaker's title shot up. And
Undertaker decides not to just fuck him up in a normal way. Diesel is trying to climb out through the door.
Yep, trying to get out.
And Undertaker bursts through the bottom of the ring, grabs Diesel and pulls him in. Including fucking Smoke.
Smoke, yes.
After he pulls him under the ring.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we saw Undertaker do that. Bust through the ring, pull a guy down, pulled him all the way in, too.
It was like some horror movie shit.
And then
I loved it.
And then the next thing you know, you see Diesel's coming out of the hole, and he starts, like, scrambling away. And his pants were ripped, man.
Undertaker was copping a feel.
Do you think they were into the ring and Nash was like, dude, I just bought this gear, man. Stuff ain't cheap. You were my big daddy.
Undertaker was pulling him under for prison rules.
Yeah. But now it makes sense why they showed Taker in the promo. So the whole story makes sense. Again, they're using these in your houses. And I think you brought this up before. Because I didn't notice the pattern. But the in your houses are actually being used to build whatever pay-per-view's next.
Right.
Build that one. Almost every in your house main event, I think, it's ended in some kind of bullshit. This one didn't because it was a cage match, no rules, Brett won.
Yeah, bullshittery.
But every one of the main events have had some kind of interference or whatever because you're setting up the next pay-per-view.
The main pay-per-view.
The main pay-per-view.
Which is fair. Why not?
I get it. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're there for.
You want this stuff to happen in your house more than you want it to happen.
I kind of almost wish they had these little pay-per-views now because the one thing wrestling I think misses today is the build-up.
Yeah.
Because there's so many pay-per-views that you don't have time to build up like you used to.
Right.
Back in the day. Or we see the same match 85 times on Raw, and then you throw it on a pay-per-view like we give a fuck anymore.
Like we give a fuck. Right.
But anyway, it was a good main event. Nothing over the top, but the ending was icing on the cake. It was a good match through and through the whole way. There were a couple times I was like, one spot, Brett's climbing to get out. Diesel's trying to go through the door, moving very slowly, and Brett's like, oh, I'm not going to try to escape now. I'm going to pull him back in. You could have just climbed out and won.
Right.
When you pulled him back in, you could have jumped over him and left. Yeah. I overanalyze. You have to escape the reality when you're watching it. You know what I mean?
Understood.
But it was a good match. I wasn't bored. I was entertained. Sorry that you had to follow Sean and Owen, is all I'm going to say.
Right.
I apologize because even with the cage...
Well, at this time, if you're following Sean and insert wrestler here...
Yeah, do you really want to follow Sean at all?
Here's the best part about Sean is, unlike Diesel, they book him with good people to face.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever saw Sean versus Mabel.
No. Because they're again.
Did we even see him against Yoko?
No, not one-on-one. Maybe in a tag, yes. Because remember, in your house when all the belts were on the line, but yeah, not a one-on-one. No. So it's just bad. It's bad booking. It wasn't all on Diesel that his run wasn't what it should have been. It's bad fucking booking.
Right.
Just saying. Not a bad match though, and the ending made it really cool. So I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it 3.5 dead men under my ring.
I'm also going to go 3.5. You pretty much took what I was going to go with.
Man, I'm in his head tonight. I don't know. I'm stealing all his good stuff. I'm stealing all his
Cage
shit.
Escapes. I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
Smoky Rings.
Smoky Rings.
Smoke on the ring.
Or Ripped Pants. Ripped Pants and Awkward Kisses.
Aw.
Oh, I went there. But at least Sunny didn't poo this time, so we have something.
We don't know.
Well, she might have.
I don't know what she was doing at that beach.
Dude. If nothing else, just go back and push play on if you have Peacock and just watch that parental advisory. Cause
Yeah, absolutely.
it would be like, I don't know, like Bone Thugs and Harmony coming out saying, watch the fucking language. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, but overall, a good show, though, right?
Parents,
So,
put your fucking kids to bed. It'd be like Samuel L. Jackson doing the parental advisory. Put your motherfucking kids to the motherfucking bed before you watch this motherfucking pay-per-view.
I've always thought if I could choose, like, one day I would either like Samuel L. Jackson or Morgan Freeman to just narrate my day. Wouldn't you just love to be like...
My Sam Jackson would make way more sense for me.
Well, he'd be hilarious, but just Morgan Freeman trying to be all serious, like if he followed me to work, and now he has a set of sunny side eggs on the grill, like it would just be hilarious. I can't sound like Morgan Freeman at all, but it would still be funny.
He's doing another nothing.
Another nothing.
He's on the couch again.
He's on the couch again. Is that someone at his door? Nope, it was the neighbor's house.
Please. For the next segment of what Steven is doing, you're going to have to pay $9.99 a minute. He's bringing it out again.
He's bringing it out again. That's not Peacock on the TV.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I guess in a way it is. Where's the assistant? What the fuck is happening right now? Good God. Overall, though,
That would be actually now that I bring it up, Morgan Freeman narrating my life would be pretty funny.
it makes everything better.
Just me doing shitty things and Morgan
And him trying to make it sound interesting.
Yes.
You know, like he's going
You
upstairs.
know he gets a new freckle every time he narrates.
I know.
songs.
He's heading upstairs, I believe, for number 2. Like, that'd be great.
Again, this is 5 times today. Damn those drugs.
I remember when we started this, and I talked about the In Your Houses that I remembered a lot of bad things, but there hasn't really been any horrible In Your Houses. This was another...
No, it's been alright.
They're not over the top. They're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's been another good one. Like, I don't know why I have all these bad memories of In Your House. There's bad spots in some of them,
I'm
but
trying
I
to
mean...
remember the other In Your Houses and whether I thought this one was better or worse.
Right, and I mean, just by going by my rankings alone, none of them have been real, bad. So, it's a good treat. That's for sure. But before we think about ranking, we have to pick some matches.
Indeed.
Indeed, we do.
Indeed.
And Morgan Freeman will not be narrating it, sorry.
Favorite match of the night.
Alright, well, I didn't have to think about this too much, because it just is what it is, and my favorite match of the night is definitely Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart.
Yeah, I don't think we really needed this segment. I think it was
I don't
obvious.
either.
It was obvious it was Shawn Michaels versus Brett.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down. I mean, I apologized for those guys having to follow him. I mean,
Yeah.
if Shawn's on the card, it's tough to top.
I think when Shawn's on the card, it's normally
Yeah, and didn't
whatever
even
match.
there was
place.
like his title shot was on the line, but there was no actual belt on the line. But it still felt like a main event. Like the way Shawn came out, it all just felt like a main event. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Shawn just demands. I don't know. Shawn's on a whole nother level. I'm just loving him more. I've always loved Shawn, but I think I'm respecting more aspects of him going back and watching these. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's fucking Shawn Michaels, man.
It is, and he was fantastic in this as well.
Fantastic. The guy's got it all.
All right, well, let's go with the worst.
Worst.
worst match of the night.
All right, well, because this wasn't a horrible pay-per-view, and we might agree on both of these, I don't know, I'm just going with my lowest ranked match and the one that bored me, and unfortunately, I'm picking Triple H versus Duke the Dumpster Droese.
With Duke the Dumpster, I think it's my least favorite as well.
And again, it wasn't that bad. It was just boring. No one cares about a fucking garbage man. That's the problem.
Nobody cares.
Droese even had a few good moves, but it just...
Right.
You gotta have a character. Nobody cares. Nobody was
Absolutely.
like, yay, garbage man.
Duke the Dumpster!
Daddy, he's my favorite. Can I get the Droese garbage truck?
I bet Duke the Dumpster doesn't even have an action figure.
Probably never made one.
No,
Not
why
that
would
I
they?
recall.
Especially back then.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm pretty sure he's only around in 96. I don't even know how long, but it's not a very long run.
You think WWE has a series of shitty wrestlers? Like...
Are you talking about actual wrestlers or are you talking about figures? Because you talked about Duke the Dumpster.
Yeah, that's on the figures.
Okay, well, you do know what one of the hottest figures was last year?
What's that?
Isaac Yankem. They were doing this.
I mean,
now.
that's pre-Kane.
It is.
So that makes sense.
Mabel,
But-
2 years ago, King Mabel was the most popular figure they released.
Let's see, you got two...
I can't stand Mabel, but I bought one of those because I was in the store one day and it was on the shelf and I'm like, everybody wants one of these, so I'm going to snag one of these up. So the point is they do go back. I don't know if they'll ever do Duke the Dumpster.
Do they have Bastion Booger?
They did a Bastion Booger. Bastion Booger, I believe, actually has a fucking Hasbro. Do you remember the Hasbros?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I remember Hasbro.
Well, the Hasbro's wrestlers, like from the 90s, they were the ones that could do this, but but I think he has a Hasbro figure. I'd have to look that up.
Well,
But they are going back, like, and releasing some of the more eccentric characters. Yeah, and then people think, oh, I really want that figure.
Is there a fucking gobbledygooker?
There should be. There should be. That was Hector Guerrero under that outfit.
Hey.
They're releasing.
We're helping you print money right here.
About 5 years ago.
Gobbledygooker. Why haven't you made one?
One of the most sought-out figures from these newer collectors is King Booker. They made a King Booker a couple years back. Well, this year they're releasing Queen Charmel. And I bet she'll sell like crazy.
Oh, I'm
just
sure.
Because if you have King Booker, you need to have...
Queen Charmel.
Oh, also, I didn't watch this match because when I watched WrestleMania, once Austin fought, I don't even think I watched Night 2 yet. Because once Austin fought, I was like, I don't need to watch. So I didn't see Johnny Knoxville fight Sami Zayn at WrestleMania.
I think it was actually pretty good.
Why do I want to watch that? But, I've heard people say, oh, it's so entertaining, blah, blah, blah.
It was entertaining.
Sami Zayn was in a giant mouse trap. That's fine. But the point being, in the newest line, they have released a Johnny Knoxville. He has his own figure.
Of course they have.
Logan Paul is getting one.
Okay,
already.
I gotta ask.
Yes.
I may regret this, but is there a Donald Trump figure?
Wow, not in wrestling, but I'm sure you could buy a Donald Trump doll.
I don't
Not a
want
wrestling
to,
doll,
but
though,
I'm curious if there's a wrestling toy.
No,
figure
they never did a Donald.
No?
No Donald.
He did a thing to Vince
He
McMahon.
did. He shaved his head. That was WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was Lashley versus Umaga.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's
I
weird
believe.
to think Lashley's been around that long.
I know, right? And look, he's better now than he's been
Oh yeah, absolutely.
ever. So, all right, well, now we got to rank.
Rank them
Rank them.
in your house. Rankings.
All right, so now it's time to rank the In Your Houses. I do, me and Blaze do it a little backwards, and that's fine. I start with my favorite and go to my least favorite. Number one stays the same with In Your House 5, but I'm actually sliding this In Your House into the second spot. So I have In Your House 5 at 1, and then In Your House 6 at 2, 1's at 3, 2's at 4, 3's at 5, and my least favorite In Your House is In Your House 4.
Yep. My least favorite is 4. Then my fifth is the third. Fourth is the first one. 3 is the second one. And second, I have this, the 6. I almost picked this as my favorite because that Shawn Bret Hart match. But then I remembered the last one. Number 1, we had Triple H in the Hog Tag match, and that was actually really fun.
Yeah.
Undertaker versus Mabel was more fun than normal.
Yes, that was the
And
best
they
one
had
of
that
the-
amazing Bret Hart versus British Bulldog match.
The match
was
that I
just
tried
brutal.
to shit on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. It was great.
amazing. Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I mean, it was actually better than the Shawn versus Owen match. So
Oh, yeah. That main event, that might
it
be...
was fantastic.
I mean, we have some more
And
in
it
your
was the main
houses to
event.
go, but that might be the best in your house
Main
match
event.
or match period.
Yeah,
in
that's
your
fair.
house. So can't argue that.
Agreed.
All right, so we've ranked, we've picked. That means there's one thing left, and I remembered. We need to plug some pluggables.
We need to plug some pluggables.
I even have them pulled up here because I feel like I plug them wrong sometimes. I tried to keep them all the same
Well,
name, but you know.
you got them pulled up already.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
have it
You
right
go
here.
ahead.
Yes.
You go first.
You know
go
how
first.
it goes. Certain places you can't use certain names
Yeah,
or gets all.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, you go ahead.
obviously we have the Boomer and Blaze Facebook page, and
Mm-hmm.
of course our chat groups are starting now, so be on the lookout for that. You can find the show on the Twitter and the Instagram at Boomer_Blaze. That's Twitter and Insta. And then on TikTok, it's at Boomer and Blaze Show. So there you go.
All right. Well, you can find me on Dragon Blazer Productions on the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, and the TikTok. You can also find me on Dragon Blazer Pro on the Twitter. And you can always go to the Boomer and Blaze YouTube page now.
Yes, and thank you for everyone who's watched already, because wow.
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
I've only got
Like-
like a few shows, like maybe 6 or 7 on there, and we already got over 500 views.
Yeah, like we're definitely getting more traffic with the YouTubes
Yeah.
than just the podcast.
And we haven't even put ours on there.
No.
Because I'm trying to do it in order from when I recorded, so I'm working on all the back catalog of Rage and Blaze. How I could put our new episodes on there, but I'm trying to.
You're trying to back
I'm
up.
trying to keep it.
And
like,
again, if you're a new listener, or you didn't listen back then, it was the Rage and Blaze show when it started.
yes,
So
yes,
it's,
Rage was my original co-host,
and it's all still chronological.
until
just
I
hopped
attacked
in.
him with a
until
chair. Yeah,
you took him out because he was holding you down.
absolutely, he was holding me back.
That's why I just shut up and do what he tells me. No, I'm joking.
That's right. You
But
don't
we
want
do.
a chair
Hey,
shot to the
we
back.
appreciate all of you, and we make sure, spread the word. Let your friends know if you enjoy the show. Let us know. Let us know if you don't enjoy the show. Bring the heat. We don't care either way, right? We just want
Yeah,
traffic.
I just had someone
Like-
on the YouTube page.
He got corrected.
Bring the heat because I didn't say Jacques right.
Right. I love the fact that
I probably said Jacques.
he bitched because not bitched, but he
Yeah,
said something
but
about
you
you
just
didn't
said-
pronounce Jacques right, and I remember those episodes, and they didn't even know how to pronounce Rougeau.
Yeah, no, I
Blaze said
yeah.
ragu a lot.
Ragu all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's because you didn't say Jacques. Did you
Jacques.
forget to spit at the end? Jacques.
Jacques.
But really, though, go back, listen to them all. He's even categorized the YouTube page. So if you just want to listen to WrestleManias or just watch the Royal Rumble episodes, it's all right there. It's divided up for you. It's nice and pretty.
Separating them.
Hard-working man,
Put them in
folks.
different categories for different shows.
Yes. So next week, not just the fact we may have a special guest, we are hoping, but we are back to WrestleMania, and I can tell you that WrestleMania 12 will be better than WrestleMania
It can't get
11.
much worse.
No.
I
And
feel
mean,
like I put the last WrestleMania at the very bottom of my.
and not only that, we already know. I mean, we knew anyway, but going through,
I put it as my
yeah.
least favorite. It was that bad.
we know for a fact that the main event of the next WrestleMania is Shawn versus Bret.
Well,
So
here's a teaser. The person that we're hoping to show up is showing up because this
specific
is
match.
this match
Yes.
is his favorite match of all time.
It has not technically been announced on this In Your House, but this will end up being the Iron Man match. Now, I have not watched this in years.
I don't think I've
Okay?
ever seen it.
I've seen it. I haven't watched it in years, and I love Bret and I love Shawn, but I'm already thinking in my head, is it that good? You have to keep my attention for an hour.
And I was
Over
told
an
it's
hour.
over an hour.
Because it goes into overtime.
It goes into overtime. I'm assuming they
So-
tie.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting to watch it. I know I've watched it since then, obviously, but I probably haven't watched that WrestleMania in 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. I am a nerd every
You're
once in a
about to
while.
watch
Little-
it soon.
Of course, we got Peacock now, but you know that I have my personal Peacock at home, and I am that nerd.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
I just break out, WrestleMania collection. Let's watch something. Now
Are you still doing that right now because we're doing this? Like, is this enough wrestling for your fill, or do you still have to?
Sometimes
it's like, I need to watch a little bit more.
Sometimes I'm like, I want to go back and watch. I'm just now.
curious.
I do my habit as like a job, except if we're not making enough yet. But
No.
my hobby's
Job
not
is
becoming.
probably not the word to use here.
Well, unless you're talking about the Marty Jannetty School of Jobbers, then you can talk about jobs.
I'm waiting for my W-2 for the Boomer and Blaze show.
Yeah, maybe someday, but until then, we get to do regular jobs.
Yeah.
So, that's it, right, for this week? We didn't forget anything? That's what happens when we record early. I'm on my game. I told you this.
Right.
So, thank you, everyone, for joining us for another exciting edition of the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And good night from Dragon Blazer Studios.
Hey everyone, this is Blaze from the Raging Blaze and the Boomer and Blaze Show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more wrestling content.